All right, let's dive in. We are in the middle of a massive shift in how we think about artificial intelligence. For a long time, AI lived in the cloud, right, far away. But now we're moving its brain from those distant servers directly to where the action is. It's called edge computer vision, and believe me, it is completely changing how AI sees and interacts with the real world. So to really get why this is such a game changer, let me ask you this. Why can't a self-driving car just rely on the cloud? I mean, why not just stream its camera feed to some supercomputer and wait for instructions? Well, the answer is pretty simple and honestly a little scary. By the time that video gets to the cloud, gets processed, and the command break comes back, it is way, way too late. We're talking about milliseconds, but those milliseconds are everything. They're the difference between a safe stop and a disaster. And, this isn't just about cars. Think about it. Our world is absolutely covered in cameras, drones, smart sensors, you name it. They're all creating this nonstop river of visual data. It's a full-on data tsunami. And the old-school centralized cloud, it just wasn't built for that. It can't keep up in real time. Okay, so what exactly are the problems here? What are the walls that this old cloud model is hitting? Let's break it down. So it really comes down to four big bottlenecks. First up, you've got latency. That's the delay we were just talking about with the car. For anything that needs to react instantly, that delay is a total deal breaker. Then there's the cost. I mean, can you imagine the bill for sending and storing constant video streams from thousands of cameras? It's astronomical. Number three is privacy. Every time you send sensitive video footage over a network, you're opening the door to potential data breaches. And last but not least, reliability. What happens if your internet connection goes down? Your whole system is suddenly blind. Not good. So with all these problems piling up, the answer isn't to build a better cloud. The answer is to flip the entire model on its head. Instead of sending data to the intelligence, we're going to move the intelligence to the data, right to the edge. And that right there is the core idea of edge computer vision. It's simple, really. It just means doing all the smart stuff, all the heavy lifting like spotting objects or tracking movement directly on the device, right on the camera or the sensor itself. No more round trips to the cloud, none. And this quote really nails the shift in thinking here. The edge device becomes like a local refinery. Think about it. Instead of shipping terabytes of raw, unprocessed video, which is pretty low-value data, you process it right there on site. The device watches the footage, figures out what's important, and then only sends the refined, high-value insights. So instead of a massive video file, the cloud just gets a tiny, simple alert, something like, hey, unauthorized person in room 205. When you put them side by side, the difference is just stark. Cloud AI, it's centralized, it's slow, and it's totally dependent on an internet connection. Edge AI, on the other hand, is decentralized, it's instant, and it's way more secure because the sensitive data never has to leave the device. It's a direct answer to every single one of those bottlenecks we talked about. Okay, so what kind of tech actually makes all this possible? How does it work? Let's poke the hood and take a look at what's really going on inside an Edge AI device, both the hardware and the software. Now, the first thing you have to understand is that there's no single magic chip that does it all. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. The world of Edge AI hardware is this really diverse ecosystem of specialized processors, and the key is picking the right one for the job. It's always this careful balancing act between performance, how much power it uses, and of course, cost. Yeah, it really is about matching the right brain to the right job. So for example, if you're building a super high-performance robot, you're going to need the massive power of something like an NVIDIA Jetson. But if you're making a smart camera that needs to be really energy efficient, the Google Edge TPU is probably your best bet. For a drone, you might go with an Intel Movidius VPU, which gives you this great balance. And what if you're building a tiny little sensor that has to run for months on a single battery? Well, then you'd want a super low-power MCU from a company like STMicroelectronics. But, having powerful hardware is really only half the battle. The AI models that are trained up in the cloud, they are gigantic. They're way too big and way too power hungry to run on these little edge devices. So what do? Well, you have to put them on a serious diet. You have to shrink them down. And this whole process has a name. It's called model optimization. And there are a couple of key ways to do this. The first one is called quantization. The best way to think about this is like taking a super high-resolution photo and saving it as a JPEG. You lose a tiny bit of quality, but the file size gets way smaller. It does the same thing with the model's data, which makes all the calculations way faster and uses a lot less power. The other big technique is pruning. This is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like trimming the fat off a steak. It goes through the neural network and just snips away all the unnecessary connections, making the model itself smaller so it needs less memory to run. Okay, so we've got the specialized hardware, and we've got the slimmed-down software. Now for the fun part. Let's look at how this technology is actually being used out in the real world to completely transform industries. Take manufacturing, for instance, where speed and precision are everything. You've got these edge vision systems sitting right there on the assembly line, and they can spot a microscopic defect on a product that's flying by at incredible speeds. That's something a human eye could just never catch reliably. They can even listen to the sounds of a machine and predict a failure before it happens, preventing a costly shutdown. Or how about retail? This is the tech behind those just walk out shopping experiences, like the Amazon Go stores. You just walk in, grab what you need, and walk out. Cameras and sensors on the edge figure out what you took and charge you automatically. No lines. And those same systems can also watch the shelves, see when a product is running low, and automatically trigger a reorder. Super smart. It's even happening in our cities. Edge cameras are making traffic flow way smarter by adjusting the timing of traffic lights based on what's happening right now. They can also spot an accident or a stalled car the second it happens and immediately alert emergency services. We're talking about speeding up response times when every single second counts. So you see the common thread here, right? The really big shift is from simply detecting a problem to creating an autonomous system that reacts to it instantly. The system doesn't just see a problem and tell someone. It triggers the alert, it shuts down the machine, it reorders the product. It actually closes the loop, all on its own. But of course, all this power doesn't come for free. It's not all easy. Pushing intelligence out to literally thousands of devices out there in the world creates a whole new set of pretty unique challenges. There are really three main hurdles to clear. You've still got those hardware constraints. You're always trying to squeeze more performance out of a device with limited power and memory. Then you have operational complexity. I mean, just think about it. How do you manage and update the software on, say, 10,000 cameras spread all over the country? It's a logistical nightmare. And finally, there's security. Every single one of those devices is a potential weak spot, a potential entry point for a cyber attack, or even someone physically messing with it. So how do you solve that huge operational challenge? Well, the key is actually something you use every day with your smartphone, over-the-air updates, or OTA updates. This is what lets a company securely and remotely push out software patches, security fixes, or even brand new, smarter AI models to their entire fleet of devices, all without ever having to send a technician out to physically touch them. So where's all this headed? What's next for the edge? Well, there are a few things on the horizon that are going to make it even more powerful. First, the continued rollout of 5G. That's going to enable these incredibly fast hybrid systems that get the best of both worlds, the edge and the cloud. We're also seeing smarter AI models, next-gen stuff like vision transformers, being optimized to run locally. And that means more accuracy and more capability. And finally, you're just going to see wider adoption. This is quickly moving from being a cool, niche technology to an absolutely essential tool for any company that wants to stay competitive. And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. We are literally embedding intelligence into the physical world around us, not in some far-off data center, but in the everyday objects we use. So as this trend picks up speed, you have to wonder, what will we automate next? What part of our world is about to get a whole lot smarter? The possibilities, well, they're really just starting to unfold.